What's going on, guys? My name is Lars and welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but today we're going to be talking about Evil Eye. Honestly, this shirt is a little too business casual. I got something for this. Hold on. Here we go. Now I feel a lot more evil. You're not the only one with cool jackets, Seto Kaiba. Anyway, Evil Eye itself actually got some brand new support out of Photon Hypernova that actually makes the deck really powerful. It's everything that it needed to actually be a functioning deck and actually compete in the current metagame environment. In this video, I'm actually going to break down each and every single one of the cards and explain how the deck itself works, my card choices. That way, if you're new to the deck or if you're just considering picking it up, this is the perfect video for you. Guys, if you enjoy videos like this, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. Alright guys, so this is the current deck list that I'm operating with. I made a few small tweaks by comparison to my EDO Pro video with Evil Eye that I just released here not too long ago. But I'm going to go through each of the cards, just kind of explain what they do and how the deck works. If you have any questions after the deck profile is finished, leave it in the comments down below and I'll do my best to answer any questions you might have about it. Also, if you have any suggestions about the deck, I'd love to hear that as well. Alright, so starting off, we have 3 copies of Surzeal. He is the face of the deck itself. His effect is that when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Evil Eye card from your deck to your hand, except a copy of himself. And then if he's equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, as a quick effect, you can target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls and destroy it. You can only use that effect once per turn, and then once per turn during your next standby phase after this effect was activated, destroy 1 card you control. It's something you need to keep in mind too. There's 1 card here in particular, the field spell, that really doesn't mind being destroyed. Actually will grab you a monster from the graveyard. I'll explain the field spell though as I get to it, but in any case, just something that you need to keep in mind. Obviously, if you're under the effect of something like skill drain, that won't apply. Surzeal, effectively, when he's equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, becomes Masterpiece. It's a really good card, absolute 3 of in the deck. Next card we have here is Basil Trice, newest member of the archetype. Really awesome card. In conjunction with him and the new spell card, it just brings the whole deck together. He's a 2 of in the deck because you don't need 3. It's really easy to get a hold of him from the deck. The deck is really good at being able to search out its pieces. But just to explain what he does, if you control an Evil Eye monster and this card is in your hand or graveyard as a quick effect, you can special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. And then during your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, immediately after this effect resolves, link summon 1 Evil Eye link monster using monsters you control as material. When you do, you can also use Evil Eye equip spells you control as Evil Eye monsters. And then of course you can only use each effect of him once per turn. Now that effect is bonkers. It's really good being able to use these equip spells as additional monsters to be able to go up into your Link 3, for example. It just brings the whole thing together. Really solid card. Again, you don't need more than 2. You can try it, but I think 3 is a bit too cloggy. Next, we have 2 copies of Basilius, Familiar of the Evil Eye. If you control an Evil Eye monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then during your main phase, you can send 1 Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard. This effect is actually really good. There's a few of the Evil Eye spells have really decent graveyard effects. The most notable one would be Evil Eyes Unleashed. This card has a quick effect, and I'll explain it as I get to it. The Evil Eye of Gorgonio has an effect in the graveyard as well. The Evil Eye of Selene has another effect in the graveyard. So there's definitely some cool interactions that you can do, and that's what makes Basilius so nice to have in the deck, is that just being able to have that graveyard dump. It's essentially a Foolish Burial Goods. Really, really good card. Next up, these options here, the Chaos Hunter and the Gamma Seal, are flexible. This is what I find to be most optimal right now, but this is subject to change. You can put different things like Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler. This is what I find to be the best option so far. Chaos Hunter, for those of you who don't know what it does, when your opponent special summons a monster, you can discard 1 card and then special summon this card from your hand. Your opponent cannot banish cards. Now this makes it really difficult for Cashiers to be able to make their plays. Being able to forego banishing can really put a damper in some archetypes. It's a really solid card. It's a Dark Fiend monster, which fits well under Gozen match. Really solid. So I run it as a 2 of. I don't need 3 unless I'm playing Kashtira directly, in which case I might throw in a 3rd one from the side deck. Either way, it's a really good card. Next up is Gamma Seal. I don't think I really need to explain Kaijus. This is good against any deck. And now we move on to the Evil Eyes. So we'll start off with the Evil Eye of Selene. You can only equip to an Evil Eye monster, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. Each time you activate the equipped monster's effect or you activate another Evil Eye spell or trap card, the equipped monster gains 500 attack, and if it does, you lose 500 life points. This attack gain remains even if this card leaves the field. Even if you get rid of it or you tribute it off to go into one of your link monsters and equip it to your link monster, you'll keep the attack gain on whatever monster, and typically it's going to be Sergio that's getting all that attack gain. Then, if this card is in your graveyard, you can pay 1,000 life points, then banish one Evil Eye spell trap from the graveyard, except Evil Eye Selene. You set this card to your field. That's the reason why I'm only running one copy in the deck, is because it can constantly recur itself from the graveyard. You don't have to worry about searching out another one from the deck. You can run another copy in the side deck. I've kind of debated that just because there is the potential of having this banished, but in either case, it's a really, really nice effect, and it's really easy to get this in the graveyard and get it onto the field or into your hand, whatever option that you need at the time. So really good card. Next up, we have 3 copies of Evil Eye of Gorgonio. Again, like Selene, equip only to an Evil Eye monster. You can only activate one Evil Eye of Gorgonio per turn. This card's name becomes Evil Eye of Selene while it's in the spell and trap zone. While your life points are lower than your opponent's, the equipped monster gains attack equal to the difference. So the difference between you and your opponent's life points, that's the attack gain that you're going to get on your monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard and discard one Evil Eye card. Add one Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to your hand. These all have really decent graveyard effects, and being able to search out from your deck something that you might need. We have a spell and trap negate that the activation cannot be negated, and then we have a double bounce in the deck as well. So really solid options that we have here. So it's a really good card though, all the way around. Really solid stuff. Next up, we have the newest spell card and the card that effectively brings this all together. This card itself would be broken in most archetypes, and that's Evil Eyes Unleashed. You can send one Evil Eye monster and one Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard. Add one Evil Eye equip spell from your deck to your hand, but for the rest of this turn, each time you activate a non-Evil Eye card or effect, you lose 500 life points. That you don't really have to be too concerned about in any case. I mean, that's more of a boon than anything else because of Gorgonio. If you link summon an Evil Eye link monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, equip one Evil Eye equip spell from your graveyard to one Evil Eye link monster you control. That's incredible. So the line of play is that you will search out Sergio. Sergio will be normal summon, which will search out Evil Eyes Unleashed. You activate Unleashed to send either the Evil Eye of Selene and Basil Trice to the graveyard, or Evil Eye of Gorgonio and Basil Trice to the graveyard. You can then use Basil Trice's effect to special summon him from the graveyard, and then equip the Evil Eyes to more than likely Sergio. And then during your opponent's turn, you can trigger Basil Trice's effect to be able to use this himself and quite possibly Basilius or even tokens to then go into the Link 2 or Link 3. Then that will trigger Evil Eyes Unleashed, which will then take one of the equip spells and equip it to your newly Link summoned monster. It's amazing, and I can't state just how ridiculous this whole thing is. It's such a good card for this archetype. It's an amazing Foolish Burial and Foolish Burial Goods all in one card. I mean, it's just an amazing package that this card gives you. Next up, we have 3 copies of Evil Eye Domain Pareidolia. This is the field spell. When this card is activated, you can add one Evil Eye monster from your deck to your hand. So it's a searcher. This is how you're going to easily be able to find Sergio in the deck. And then once per turn during damage calculation, if your Evil Eye monster is attacked while Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap zone, you can make the battle damage you take from this battle also inflicted to your opponent. So that's really nice. If this card in the field zone is destroyed by card effect, you can target one Evil Eye monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So if you have to trigger off the effect of Sergio and destroy a card that you control, this will get you a monster back from the graveyard. Next up, we have 2 copies of Evil Eye Awakening. You can special summon one Evil Eye monster from your hand or graveyard, or if Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap zone, you can special summon one Evil Eye monster from the deck. This is not how you typically want to get Sergio unless you had no other option, but it's still really good being able to just grab another body out of the deck so that way you can use it to link climb. Really solid card. I run it at 2. It can get Basil Trice onto the field or Basilius to be able to do that Foolish Burial Goods. Next up, we have 1 copy of Evil Eye Reemergence. Special summon 1 familiar of the Evil Eye token. They're fiends, level 1, 400 attack and defense. Or if Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap zone, you can special summon 2 tokens instead. Also, for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except fiends. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Your opponent cannot target Evil Eye spells and traps you control with card effects this turn. That's a really solid effect. I wish it was a quick effect during your opponent's turn, turn, but it does help. You want to make sure that your Evil Eyes equipped spells are not going to be touched for the turn. It's a niche effect, but you know, it's nice to have. It's a really good token generator. Next up, we have 3 copies of Pot of Extravagance. This works so well in this deck. 1 copy of Terraforming for the field spell, 1 copy of Call by the Grave. I'd run 3 if I could. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, best hand trap in the game right now. 3 copies of Goes in Match. This works so well. There are some cases I'd like to use Rivalry or Warlords, which is why it's in the side deck, but in any case, Goes in Match is doing extremely well. It's a super powerful card this format. Next up, 3 copies of Skill Drain. Absolute blowout card. Every deck hates this. It's amazing in this deck because once you pay 1,000 life points, if you have Evil Eye YuGiOh equipped, that's an extra 1,000 attack points to one of your monsters, be it Zerziel or one of the links. Really amazing card. I mean, you get to ridiculous attack levels in this deck. Next up, 1 copy of Evil Eye Retribution. This is a spell and trap negate that if Evil Eye Selene is on the field, the card's activation and effect cannot be negated. So really powerful spell and trap negation. And then we have 1 copy of Evil Eye Defeat. If you control an Evil Eye monster, target 1 monster on the field or up to 2 instead of Evil Eye Selene is in your spell and trap zone, return them to the hand. You can only activate 1 Evil Eye Defeat per turn. This is going to give you a double bounce as long as Evil Eye Selene is on the field with an Evil Eye monster. It's amazing. Just to be able to bounce 2 monsters that your opponent controls. It's searchable from the deck as well. Really, really powerful stuff. All right, and then we move into this extra deck here. We have 3 copies of Zerziel, Ruler of the Evil Eye. This card is amazing. This is typically what I like to go into when I do the Link Climb. If this card was a Link Summon using a monster with 2600 or higher attack as material, it can make a second attack during each battle phase, and that's huge. If this card is equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene as a quick effect, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. You can only use this effect of him once per turn, and then once per turn during your next standby phase after this effect was activated, negate the effect of 1 effect monster this card currently points to. Obviously, you don't want him pointing to your own monsters. 2 copies of Gorgon. I was running it at 3, but it's really not necessary. She's a good Link too, but I find I don't need her as much as I need Zerziel. But in any case, she gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card with different names in your graveyard, and if this card is equipped with Evil Eye Selene as a quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. So it's a really solid effect. You can only use it once per turn, and then once per turn during the next standby phase after this effect was activated, destroy 1 monster this card points to. So this effectively is a mirror image of Zerziel. She's really good, and there are going to be circumstances where you might want her instead of Zerziel, but just in general, she is a really nice addition to have. Next up here, we have the DDD package. DDD Stone King Darius. His first effect really doesn't matter because it deals with dark contracts. His other effect actually matters. If this card battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, you can detach 1 exceeds material from this card, make this card unable to be destroyed by that battle, destroy the opponent's monster that battled it after damage calculation, and if you do, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. A really nice rank 3. You're probably going to overlay this with DDD Divisor King Deus Machinix. This card is amazing. You can also exceed summon this card by using a DDD monster you control as material. You can only control 1 DDD Divisor King Deus Machinix in your monster zone once per chain. When a monster card your opponent controls activates its effect as a quick effect, either detach 2 materials from this card or destroy 1 dark contract card you control, and if you do, attach that opponent's card to this card as material. Awesome effect. Depending on the circumstances of your board and what you're playing, this is sometimes the more optimal play to go into. Really, really good card. 1 copy of number 75, Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. Really cool effect. Once per turn when your opponent's monster activates effect, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card. The activated effect becomes each player draws 1 card, and then you can target 1 other number exceeds monster you control, attach this card to it as material. Phantom Knight's a break sword. Destroy 1 card you control, 1 card your opponent controls. Really good card. Next up, we have Zeus, and then 1 copy of number 77, the 7 Sins. You can also exceed summon this card by using a rank 10 or 11, so this is where you're going to be using your Machinix. If summoned this way, the following effect cannot be activated this turn. Once per turn, you can detach 2 exceeds materials from this card, banish as many special summon monsters your opponent controls as possible, then attach 1 of those banished monsters to this card exceed material. If this face-up card on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach 1 exceeds material from this card instead. Really easy to go into in the deck. And now we move into the side deck. Starting off, we have 1 copy of Gamma Seal and 1 copy of Chaos Hunter. We already have 2 in the deck, so this is just to round it off. If you're playing against Kashtira, these cards are absolutely great. 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More, just to be able to do blanket negation if I'm going second or if I know I'm going to be going second. 3 copies of Evil Eye Confrontation. This one is essentially Cosmic Cyclone. If you control an Evil Eye monster, target 1 spell and trap your opponent controls, destroy it. And if you do, and if the Evil Eye of Selene is in your spell and trap zone, banish that destroyed card. and you can only activate once per turn. This is a searchable Cosmic Cyclone for the deck. Really good side deck option. And then we have 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Again, just more back row hate. Next, we have 3 copies of Book of Lunar Eclipse. The reason I don't run Eclipse in this deck is because we're using equip spells. If I have to flip my monsters face down, that's going to destroy the equip spells. Whilst they have graveyard effects and Eve Selene is recurable from the graveyard, ideally I don't want to do that because I won't be able to clear the board as easily as some other decks would. So Lunar Eclipse to me is the better option for this deck, and just at a cost of a discard to target 2 face-up monsters if I need to deal with Arise Heart or Shangri Era, you know, this is going to be the option I want to go into. Alright guys, and that's going to do it for this deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Is there anything that you would change or any suggestions that you have that might improve the deck's viability? In any case, I really appreciate you watching all the way to the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Later.